Tonight we're going to add and subtract decimals. Now, looking at some of the data from these returned assignments, it looks like there's 4 problems that are consistently being missed. So I'm going to work those 4 problems with you. The other problems, which would be 8 of them, the other 8 problems really shouldn't give you any difficulty, and so you should be able to get this done and get a 100 on it. Now, this assignment is worth 12 points, so this is really going to boost your score if you've got a 100 on it. So let's work add and subtract decimals. So the 4 problems that students are missing the most are 3, 4, 5, and 7. So starting with number 3, which is not really a great place to start, but it is what it is. You've got a whole number being subtracted by 9 and 1300ths. Now, remember that at the end of every whole number, there is an invisible decimal. So there's actually a decimal right there behind the 4 and 14. And so that 4 will line up with the 9. And then we've got 1300ths floating out here in space. Okay. So when we subtract this, I like to add placeholder zeros because I tend to make mistakes if I don't have zeros there when I'm subtracting. I can sometimes drop them when I'm adding, but when I'm subtracting, they need to be there. So I can't take 3 away from 0. So I go next door to borrow, but there's nothing to borrow there. So I have to go next door again so that this 4 goes down to a 3 so that this 0 can become a 10. And now this 0 can borrow from the 10. The 10 goes down to a 9 so that the 0 becomes a 10. 10 minus 3 is 7. 9 minus 1 is 8. Bring your decimal straight down. Remember, when you add and subtract decimals, your decimals must line up so that you can bring it straight down. Now, I can't take 9 away from 3, so I go next door and borrow. That becomes a 0, so that can become 13. And 13 minus 9 is 4. So we get 4 and 8700ths for number 3. Pretty easy. Let's do number 4 now. This is also a subtraction problem. And I think I can see why we're missing it, but let's work through it together. 4 and 389 thousandths minus, make sure your decimals line up, 45 hundredths. Okay, and at first glance, there's not anything really weird, so I'm guessing that most people are messing up when they have to borrow here, and they're saying that 3 minus 4 is 1. It's not. It's -1, and we don't want a negative number in the middle of our positive numbers. That's just weird. So 9 minus 0 is still 9. 8 minus 5 is 3. I can't take 4 away from 3, so I have to go next door and borrow. That becomes a 3 so that this can become 13. And 13 minus 4, well, here I did 13 minus 9 and got 4, so 13 minus 4 is going to give me 9. Bring down the decimal. 3 minus 0 is 3. So we get 3 and 939 thousandths. Not sure why people are missing that one. That one really isn't so bad. It must just be the borrowing, so make sure that you regroup correctly. Let's look at number 5 now. And it says, this is an addition problem. We have 344 thousandths, and that's plus 92 hundredths. Oh, I did that a little too close to my number. Oh well. So here, you're just adding. I'm not sure where we're messing up, but let's go ahead and add. 4 plus nothing is 4. I bet what's happening is people aren't lining up the decimals. 4 plus 2 is 6. 3 plus 9 is 12. Carry the 1 and bring the decimal straight down. 1 plus nothing is 1. So we get 1 and 264 thousandths. Okay. And the last problem, we are skipping to problem 7. Oh, I see what people did here. This is another one where you've got a whole number and you're adding it to 3 1400ths. Don't forget that at the end of every whole number, there is an invisible decimal. If you line up the 4 with this 4 right here, then you're saying that this is 54 hundredths. Okay, which would be the same thing as saying 54 cents, but this isn't 54 cents, this is $54. This is a lot more than what you're trying to do. So let's go ahead and add those together. 0 plus 4, 0 plus 1, bring the decimal straight down, 4 plus 3, 5 plus nothing. Boom, that was easy. This is one where you really should ask yourself if your answer makes sense. So remember, you can always add up your whole numbers. 54 plus 3, does that make 57? Yeah, so my answer makes sense. You can do that here, sort of. It's a little clunky, but 0 plus 0 is not usually going to give you 1, but 1 is really close to 0, so this answer is not outside the realm of possibility, especially when you start looking at it and saying, well, this could round up to 1 very easily, so my answer does make sense. Same thing here. 4 minus 0 isn't normally 3, but you know that 4 is close to 3, so this answer could make sense, and then when you look at the whole thing, oh yeah, this would round up to 4, so my answer is logical. And same thing with 14 minus 9. You're not normally going to get 4, but you are going to get something close to 4. So you know that if you're within a digit or two, that your answer should be logical. Okay? Always go back and ask, does my answer make sense? Anyway, go ahead and work the other 8 problems on your own.